Good morning, everybody. It's Una. This is the last lesson plan that I'm going to send you this term. It's for this week and next week, so that's the 2nd and 9th of June. I will be sending you little bits of, hopefully, a little bit of fun information next week for our last week. Okay, but today we're going to talk about the plant kingdom. Okay, you'll get this lesson plan and the other file that I'm going to show you as part of the lesson plan in your email and in the post as well, hopefully over the next few days. Okay, so we're going to talk about the plant kingdom today, and this is the video of how to work through this plan. Okay, now there's a video link here. You can have a look at that. There are some big words used in this video. Don't worry about them. The best thing to do with this video is listen to it and follow the words as they appear on the screen, because everything that the presenter says appears on the screen as she says it. Okay, so follow the words as they appear on the screen and look at the pictures, and it'll give you a good overview of the plant kingdom. You don't need to answer questions on this part. It's just a good introduction to the plants. And like I said, as the presenter speaks quite slowly, it's easy to follow. Okay. And also, you only need to look at the first 3.5 minutes or so of the video. It's about 11 minutes long, but you don't have to look at all of it. You'll get a good overview of plants if you just look at the first 3.5 minutes. But you can watch the whole lot of it if you want and you want to get more information. Okay. Now, so once you've done that, okay, I want you to go to the document called Read About External Plant Parts. Now, we've spoken about the word external before. It means outside. So the parts of the plant that are on the outside. Okay, so I'm going to flick over to that document now. You should have a copy of it. And here it is. Okay, and it talks about external plant parts definition. Okay, and says the plants have external plant parts that help them grow, survive, and reproduce. These parts include the stem, the leaves, flower, fruits, and roots. Okay, and many plant parts are eaten by people. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so to better understand how external plant parts work, let's break it down. Okay, so here we go. Now, so the stem is an external plant part, that should say is. Okay, so here's the stem of this little seedling as it comes up here. Okay, it's strong and helps hold the plant up. It also lets water and nutrients flow up to the leaves. Some examples of stems we eat are celery, asparagus, and sugarcane. Okay, and then you have leaves. So leaves are also an external part of the plant. They're on the outside, you can see them. So leaves collect sunlight and make food for the plant. Leaves come in many different shapes and sizes, but most leaves are flat and green. Some examples of leaves that we eat are mint and spinach. Okay, and then it talks about flowers. Okay, another external part. There's a rose. Flowers are the parts of plants that make seeds and fruits. Some examples of flowers we eat are lavender and roses. And flowers are colourful so they can attract animals like hummingbirds and bees. Okay, and that's to help with pollination. And then fruits. Okay, so fruits are parts of the plant that protect seeds and help the seed to get moved from place to place by an animal. Animals like to eat fruit because most of them taste sweet. And then we have roots. Roots are an external plant part. Okay, they absorb water and minerals from the soil and hold the plant in the ground so it does not fall over. Some examples of roots we eat are potatoes, carrots, and beans. Okay, now it then gives you some vocabulary or words. Okay, it talks about external part, a part on the outside of the plant, like we already said. Okay, and then it talks about the flower, the fruit, the leaf, reproduce. Okay, to reproduce, to make more plants, animals also reproduce. Okay, and the root. Okay, now just flicking back to your lesson plan for a minute. After you've done that, after you've read that first part of Read About External Plant Parts, I want you to copy out the definitions for the following terms from page 3 of this document. Okay, flower, fruit, leaf, reproduce, and roast. Okay, so root, sorry, root. Okay, and they are the definitions that we've just looked at here. Okay, I just want you to copy those out. It'll get you used to writing and reinforce the meaning of the words. Okay, and then it asks you to read through the questions on page 3 of the document and answer the following questions. Okay, so going back, here's questions about external plant parts, okay? What do we mean by external parts of a plant? Okay, plants that are on the outside. What is the function of the seeds? Seeds help the plants reproduce because they can grow into a new plant. Moving down. What characteristics do plants have that show they are alive? They grow, they need nutrients, that's food and water, and they make more plants, they reproduce. And what are the main parts of a plant? The main parts of a plant are roots, stem, leaves, flowers, and fruit. And then what is the purpose of each of the plant parts? Now this is where you'll get your answers to the questions that I'm asking. The roots anchor the plant in the soil and help it take in water. The stem holds up the plant and carries water to the leaves. The leaves use sunlight to make food for the plant. The flowers produce seeds to make new plants. And fruits serve as a protective covering for seeds and help the seed get moved somewhere else by an animal. See video about pollination and seed dispersal. Don't worry about that video, okay? We're not looking at that. So if I go back to our lesson plan, okay, what does the root do? So just go back to this section here. What is the purpose of each plant of the plant parts? This will give you your answers. Okay, What does the root do? What does the stem do? What do the leaves use to make food? And what do flowers produce to make new plants? Last one, what is a protective covering for seeds called? Okay, so those questions 1 to 5, the answers are all in this little part here, okay? Okay, so just read through that. And then the end of this document is just a little paragraph. What are some parts of the plant that you eat? Give examples. So it mentioned this already. Some stems you eat are celery, asparagus, and sugarcane. Some roots are carrots, beets, and potatoes. Some leaves are mint and spinach. Some flowers are lavender and roses, and some fruits are tomatoes, apricots, and dragon fruit. Okay, so what you can do is, if you like, you can come up with any other leaves, basil, thyme, for example, are leaves that you would eat, some fruits, any kind of fruits you can come up with at all, or vegetables. Any other flowers that you might eat. I can't think of any at the moment, but have a little think about that and see if you can come up with any new ones. Okay, so that is that file. Okay, now I want you to go through these worksheets, choose the correct answer and fill in the blanks. I don't think you'll find this too difficult. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. You have the pictures here. So follow what it says and fill in the blanks, okay, for each of the pictures. Okay, see if you can get them all right. And then have a go at looking at the life cycle of the plant. We didn't talk about this in detail, but have a guess as to which is stage 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Again, this is parts of the plant. Okay, so this goes back to the definitions that we looked at earlier. So you just have to match either leaves, stem, flower, roots to these 4 sentences here. Okay, so have a go at that. And then you have to label the parts of the plant. Okay, so what is this part called? What's that called? What's this bit called? And what are these called down here? Okay, so there's 2 worksheets there that you have to look at. And that is for this week. Now for next week, or you can do it this week, these are a couple of pages from the portfolio. So I want you to read through these, okay? Sort familiar living things from the plant and animal kingdoms into groups by placing them correctly into the table below. So you have 6 pictures, okay? So a tree, a cat, a cactus plant, a fish, a rose, and a butterfly. Okay, and you have to put them either into the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom. So whichever kingdom you think they belong in, write them down in here or in here. Okay, And the next one then, categorize familiar living things from the plant and animal kingdom by placing them correctly into the table below. Okay, so you have salmon, a parrot, an oak tree, you have a rose, a snake, and a mushroom. Okay, so you've to say which one of them is a fish, which one is a reptile, which one is a flower, which one is a fungus, which one is a tree, and which one is a bird. Okay. And then the last bit, this is following on from what we did last week, demonstrate knowledge of the difference between vertebrates and invertebrates by completing the worksheet below. And remember, vertebrates have backbones, invertebrates don't, okay? So the first thing it asks you to do is to define the difference between vertebrates and invertebrates. So what is the difference between vertebrates and invertebrates? Okay, so you might mention what, do they come from the animal kingdom or the plant kingdom, and what is the difference between them, the main difference between them. Okay, and there's a picture to help you along. Okay, you'll recognize that picture from last week's lesson. And then it asks you to categorize the animals listed in the table below as either vertebrates or invertebrates. Okay, so you've got a worm, a rabbit, a snail, a bird, a man, a spider, a ladybird, and a goldfish. So you've to say whether they are vertebrates or invertebrates. Okay, and if you want to wait until I post the corrections for last week's work before you do that, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that is the last 2 weeks' work. I will be in touch regardless. Okay, but have a look at this and see how you get on with it. Okay, thanks, guys. Bye.